Preparing. Okay, perfect. Sometimes Facebook takes a couple minutes to get loaded here, but I think we are online. So hello, Facebook world. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am embracing this dragon energy that we have going on right now. This has been a really powerful week in some teachings and some learning, some dragon magic. And I love the dragon energy just because it is all about um, kind of lighting that inner fire again. And I know in the Chinese zodiac, that's my animal is the dragon. But we're just coming out of I believe it was rat that was going on, which is a completely different energy than the dragon energy. So it's very magical, very mystical. Good evening, Samara. Welcome. So wonderful to have you in the field with us tonight. Um, so yeah, so I'm just kind of getting rolling into the energy update. We have some things that have been sort of moving through us that I spoke about a lot on our Wednesday group class. So I don't want to repeat myself too much, but some of the beautiful things that we have been experiencing, and we really like as sort of crazy and chaotic as um, they've been very enlightening. It's maybe on Facebook or Zoom. Yes, actually, if you want, I know it's easier for you. I am live streaming on Facebook in Inner Circle right now. So if you hop onto Facebook and go into Inner Circle, you'll see us live streaming right now. So then you'll be able to still catch up. I left my phone in the car. I had to run out and grab my daughter just before this, and I left my phone in the car, so I can't actually see both screens. So I won't be able to interact, but I know that you're there in the field, and I'm holding intentions for you as well. So um, hopefully you can end up catching it from the point where you hopped on there. You'll be all good. So I'm gonna grab my oil and just kind of get grounded. I've been sort of running today. It's been one of those days that was actually really, really cool. Uh, it was supposed to be a really, really crazy day where I wasn't sure how I was going to pack everything in, and I've been playing this game a little bit with myself, just sort of testing the intuition, testing the in-tuneness, and I've been I've been really getting confirmation from the universe that things are in line, like just playing with silly things like my phone, playing silly sort of games with my alarm, like if I feel I'm not even going to look at the time, but I know my alarm's going to go off within a minute, and it did both times that I had ended up setting it in the last couple of days, just playing little games with the universe. And that's one of the things that I suggested too, playing games with the universe right now, having a little bit of fun, tapping into some of this feminine energy, because it's like, okay, I know that I'm worthy, universe, just show me how, just really sending that intention, almost like a little prayer of asking for everything to just sort of show you the abundance in your life, really sort of focusing in on that good energy. And I don't know, hopefully Facebook was working for you, Samara. I don't know. Um, I want you to be able to hear us too. So feel free to chat in if you need any help. I didn't get a chance to double check, but it does say I'm live streaming on Facebook, so it should be good to go. Um, it's all about kind of getting into balance right now with the masculine and the feminine energy. And so what we had going on planetarily last week was where Chiron was sitting right around the North Node, and we ended up having Shiva in the South Node, which is all sort of about the masculine energy, and it was sort of allowing us to see where we maybe been allowing our masculine energy to take over a little bit. And we tend to do that, especially as women with masculine energy, to keep us safe. It's a bit of a way to armor ourselves a little bit and feel safe. And so we get this warrior, this sometimes some of these more masculine archetypes. And I'm not talking male, female. I'm talking masculine energy versus feminine energy. And so this masculine energy can show itself in many ways, like overextending ourselves, doing too much, doing a lot, keeping ourselves distracted so that we're not necessarily staying conscious. And feminine energy is kind of that staying conscious, allowing that love to flow, um, allowing that ability to just have the ease, the receiving, to really allow us to sort of tap into that. And so we've been kind of asking lately, what is it that's keeping me from getting into that receiving mode? What's keeping me from allowing that love tap to be turned on so that we're not in those lower frequencies, so that we can approach things with love. It's not about being perfect. It's not about being lovey all the time. It's not about making the right decisions, that we made a wrong one and we're on the wrong path. It's actually allowing that ease and flow of knowing that we can resegment at any time and actually understand that maybe I'm allowing that masculine energy, or that armor, to become a little bit too strong. And we'll notice that by feeling burnt out, or feeling um, maybe as though we're really trying to force something, or we're really feeling stuck, right? So this sort of astrological forecast for this week, we have Venus moving in. So it's all of a sudden it's allowing this feminine energy, this she she gets in a conjunction with Mercury coming through. So all of a sudden it's like allowing this feminine to be heard, allowing this feminine energy to speak to us a little bit, and to honor that. And how we can honor that is by, if we're noticing, say, that we are getting into that armor mode, or we're even having, because once Mercury and Mars start to come into play, because they're all in Aquarius right now, all of these planets are in Aquarius, so it's like poof, big energy. And I just feel my whole body going, yeah, like it is big energy right now, with this with Pluto as well, and transformation, right? So we've got huge death and rebirth. We've got communication. So there may be even, what I've been noticing is communications are sneaking up that we maybe never expected to have. Like, you might get called into the office and all of a sudden you might be let go, or you might be um say you're at work, or you might have a conversation with a person that you're in some kind of friendship or relationship with, and you're going to be like, wow, that unraveled fast, or that was unexpected, or there's going to be some kind of shocking sort of, it can be uplifting, but always for the greater good. But like the things that were ready to end are just kind of poof, it's just happening for some people, especially those manifestors. For others, it's at a point where they're just like completely at the point where they're so ready to make change that they just kind of make a quick change happen by just sometimes blah, just like yelling at someone. People, even I've heard of customers getting fired lately. People are just like, blah, I'm just done. People are done being taken advantage of. And this is a huge thing, because we don't want to ignore that, right? We want to honor that within ourselves. So in the masculine energy, we're always trying to do things and fix things. And in the feminine, it's kind of like, where are my boundaries, these healthy boundaries that we've been setting up? Um where are my limitations being overstepped? Where am I actually being taken advantage of? Where are these things that I need to shift so that I can really create this ease, this flow, this freedom of choice, this feeling of love, this I just kind of get this feeling of turning on the tap and letting the love flow. Like, say you're in a, a conversation with someone, you can almost feel if you're in a contracted state or if you're in a state of flowing love. Like, even my husband just got home, so he'll be home for this week. Actually, it's kind of exciting. I get to have him home for a whole week. um, if I was in the stuckness of the doing, of the masculinity of the, we have, like, I have things all set up this way and this way and this way. Now it's going to be extra meals. I have to make sure this and this is, it's also his birthday. It was my daughter's birthday. There's lots going on. You want to make everything perfect. Usually I remember this year, last time, we can all have a little chuckle. I got a speeding ticket. I remember telling you guys about that. And it was like, that's when I knew I was just going too fast. I was doing too much. And that was my excuse per se, but it was also my vibration. It was also my state. I was just like, thank you, police, for pulling me over. Because wow, that was a good check-in before I actually got into an accident or before something crazy happened where I was like completely burnt out or even let my health get away from me because I'm so busy doing for everything else. We always have playoffs on these weekends and it's all starting now. So it was like this craziness that would normally be going on. It's such a shift this year. It's like I'm so aware, I'm so in that consciousness. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. My daughter brought my phone in that I forgot, so now I can actually see you guys. So this craziness that can kind of come about, this is the time where we can actually check in with ourselves and see, am I in that contracted state or am I in a flowing state? And it's okay to be in a contracted state because not only are we living with a whole bunch of people in our world, right? We're running into different people almost every single day where we're having conversations, we're having relationships, and these relationships are our best teachers. These relationships, these fleeting conversations that we're having, these people that we're sort of running into that we maybe even thought of. Maybe we're feeling inspired to do something. So we went out and did something in particular. Like we just really felt like bowling or golfing or swimming, or we just really felt like moving our bodies in a certain way. So we went to a certain place and did this. And the people that you run into there, you're going to run into all sorts of people. So these conversations are an opportunity to learn about yourself, about how you're feeling about the conversations, about how you're reacting in the conversations. But what I want to guide us to is that if we're having a moment where we are not feeling it, where we are feeling kind of in a contracted state, we were maybe even triggered by something. There was something that someone said that just kind of pissed us off, or maybe we were noticing that we were judging them. We were feeling that open state of love, that flow. Just turn the tap right off and you're just kind of like, no, like this is not where I expected this to go, but here we are. This is how we learn. This is an opportunity to um, allow yourself to feel it. I'm not saying shut it off. I'm not saying don't feel it. Allow yourself to feel it for a minute, just a minute, just before it gathers too much energy, before you're starting to put all sorts of magnetization into it, because we know how quickly that can sort of spiral out of control. This astrological, these influences that we have going on right now are really allowing us to learn the lesson quickly, like 10 times quicker than 10 years quicker than it would take us to normally learn these lessons. We're getting this information handed straight to us. And if we can kind of be in that state of love as much as possible, that state of flow, we can allow those thoughts to teach us and guide us in the ways that we need to, like really notice where you're at, because we cannot control everybody else. We cannot control anybody else. All we can control is ourselves. So we can look first at our state of frequency, at our state of masculine versus feminine, really really understand this masculine versus feminine thing by allowing some of this feminine to come through, by allowing some of this flow of love, this turn the tap on. Like, whoa, that was crazy. I can't believe I was really even feeling that. I'm really getting some clarity on this. It will bring that clarity to you in the situation almost right then and there. So tap into this a little bit because it's powerful, and it's so important, because that contrast is how we learn the lessons. It's how we learn about ourselves. Our relationships are how we learn about ourselves. And so tonight we're going to do a meditation that's going to allow us to bring that into balance a little bit. And we're going to utilize the dragons just like we do our archangels. And we're going to call in the dragon energy. So how we call in angels when we really need some guidance. Sometimes we can ask our angels for guidance. Well, we can do this same thing with dragons. They're like these magical creatures that are all around us. They're like the oldest mystical um, entity that's sort of known about, and they're gentle. They're not necessarily fierce. They're not out to hurt us. They're here as a way to carry us forward, as a way to really show us this transition, to help our soul's purpose light up a little bit. And there's a few books that I was thinking that might be helpful to you guys. There's a couple that came into my head. One of them was called Journey of Souls by Michael Newton, I think it was Dr. Michael Newton, Journey of Souls. That was really powerful. I read it a while ago. Um, and a couple that I wanted to actually get again on ebook so that I could listen to it was Robert Schwartz. He writes a couple books. One is, I think, The Soul's Gift or A Soul's Gift, and the other is The Soul's Plan or A Soul's Plan. So, if you're kind of wavering a little bit on this whole soul's journey, how about The Dragon Doesn't Live Here Anymore? Is that a book? Or is that a statement? The Dragon Doesn't Live Here Anymore. That's kind of a cool book title if it is a book. Oh, okay, I haven't heard of that one, but I think I need to read it. How about The Dragon Doesn't Live Here Anymore? I like that. So that's another good book suggestion coming into the field for us right now. Um, but this dragon energy is kind of about our soul's purpose, about helping us to fulfill this. And the fact that everything is moving so quickly and hasn't for about 20 years, with now us going into, we have the North Node going into Aries and then the South Node going into Libra. So it's kind of like about some ease and flow. It's different than what I'm speaking about, but it might actually be very fitting for some of the people that are watching this. So I love the suggestion. It came up for a reason, most definitely. Um, but sometimes we think this soul's journey has to be this big thing, and really what it is it's more about enjoying that journey on our way, and actually relishing in those moments, loving every moment of every day as much as we can, like really living that life that we love, really loving the life that we're living, really allowing that feminine energy to turn on. So I want to invite you, when you are feeling a little contracted, when you start to feel like, oof, I really didn't like how he said that. Look at how much it's not about him or her and what they said. It's about us and the amount of love we have flowing. And this is where we're going to go in the meditation tonight, to let some of this armor go, because we've shut that love off for a reason. And this is where the subconscious works, right? We set up these old stories, these old patterns, these old things in so many ways as conditions for ourselves. And just thinking of a couple of random ones over the last week that I know will be helpful for you guys is thinking things like, if you had a, had a career. Well, for me, I already had my career. I had I thought I had my soul's purpose. It was massaging. It was going and healing people with my hands. I had this story in my mind, and I was saying it for the longest time after. I don't have any other skills. I don't know what else to do. Like, what am I going to do with myself? I've lost everything. And I really was telling myself this, and I was fitting myself into that box, and I was then stopping myself from finding what I really loved. And this shift in consciousness, this ever since COVID started, the couple years before that was when I had found magnetic mind and really started to move into. If I hadn't had my accident, that would have stopped me from doing massage. And I had many hints from the universe that there was more out there for me than this, but I was hanging on to the fact that that was all I knew, and that was my identity, and that was, didn't know anything else. And so I was stopping myself literally from finding this career that I really love. I mean, I get to do meditations with people online and work with people all over the world and make huge differences. I love doing my one-on-ones because it's just like, at the end of the session, when the person is like, that was like incredible. And when I'm doing a one-on-one recode with them, and I can see their bodies moving in and out of that theta state, and know that when I'm working with something, working through something with them in the recode, seeing their bodies actually respond, like, it's phenomenal to know that this even exists. I never would have imagined it. Didn't even know it existed. I didn't even know I could do energy work over the computer, right? I always had this preconception that it had to be, this can go for relationships. We thought we had the love of our life. We give ourselves these limitations. I'm never going to have that again. So why would we ever go for it? This is what our subconscious is believing. These are those stories that are, unconsciously we're manifesting, even though that's not what we want. So we get to turn it around. We get to make that choice. What do I want? I want to have the love of my life. Man, I thought I had the love of my life, but what if what's out here is even better? What if I thought that was love of my life? But oh, I got goosebumps right now. But I had no idea how good it could be if I let myself receive, if I allowed myself to actually trust that I wasn't going to go through something like I went through already. Because what's happening? Masculine's taking over, keeping us safe, right? Our subconscious is taking over, making sure our armor's up so that we don't go through that again. Because you remember what happened, it's like, this is how our subconscious works. It's going to keep us safe. So it's going to keep us from ever allowing ourselves to really love again, to really turn on that tap and let that love flow, and trust that everything is meant to work out. Because those subconscious things, they're like, yeah, things might not work out. They didn't before. Don't you remember these stories that we get told by our subconscious, by our ego mind, can hold us back from so much. They can hold us back from such joy and such love and such expansion. And even with finances, like, I had it, but I lost every time I get a lot. I can never hang on to it. The last time I had it, this is what happened. These stories that we can choose to let go. We're going to do that tonight in the meditation. We're going to utilize that dragon energy to literally reconceptualize and reperceptualize. And we're going to do some womb healing. We're going to do some feminine energy healing, bringing those teachings back into our wombs once we've actually released some of these stories, some of these things that we've been telling ourselves, some of these regrets that we've had. Think about these stories and these regrets that we've had. This is the time for some of this healing to actually happen. So for a lot of us, we have to be brought to our knees health wise, or, relationship wise. It's got to be so huge for our soul to be able to get through to us. Well, we're lifting this veil a little bit. We're doing the work. We're asking for this clarity. We're asking for this love and this abundance to flow into our lives. We're asking to receive. We're asking to be in allowance, to be in love and flow, and noticing how good that feels in very little things, like just being in a forest and pretending you're seeing dragons. Or sometimes you glance over and you look and you see a big tree that's fallen, and it kind of resembles something. I have a big stone in my front yard in my flower gardens that looks like, it's like not a big stone, it's a big stone, like it's like thousands of pounds, a huge granite boulder, and it looks like a frog. So I always, it's my frog medicine in there. So I go and sit on there and meditate sometimes in the summer, and sort of tap into the nature. Because think about when you're with someone and you're in a contracted state versus if you were out in nature and you could just freely move, freely dance, allow some of this feminine energy to move through your body. Like when you're allowing that to happen, it's so huge. That's a big shift in frequency. That's a big, we think we're so, again, masculine about if I if I do my meditations for 5 minutes in the morning, and then I do my energy work, and then I do my, but how are we feeling about it? Are we feeling like, oh, I got to do this because I got to keep my intention straight? Or are we feeling like, oh, I feel so happy to be alive. I just feel like grounding myself into the earth and feeling like tapping into Mother Gaia's energy and these downloads and these uploads. And, just how are we really feeling? How is that vibration? Because the universe speaks to us energetically. So this is a chance to kind of fine tune our energetic levels a little bit, allowing that feminine to come back, and she's coming back with Venus's energy moving in, which hasn't for 20 years, 19 years. We haven't had Venus moving into Aries like this, with everything sort of all um, pointing us in that direction of self-love and in that direction of unconditional love and in that area of trust. We kind of get to enjoy these free will type experiences a little bit more and know that we're not making mistakes, that we're not on the wrong path. We didn't, really fuck something up. We just get the chance now every moment of every day to make the choice moving forward. Am I uh, take a little temperature thermostatic read of how much love you have flowing, and you'll know right away. You'll be like, there's no love flowing right now. It's off. The tap is off. And literally imagine sort of turning it back on, opening it up when you approach something with love, when you have a conversation with someone with this flow on. It's magical when that flow is off, when we're contracted, when we're holding back, when we're protecting, when we're armored. It can be so, so different. We're going to react differently. The whole situation is going to go differently. We may not end up seeing those people that we may not allow ourselves. We may miss this, these parts of the journey that are really where the magic is at, where we're fine tuning what it is that lights us up and what we really enjoy. And it doesn't mean that if you really like baseball and or golf, say you really really love golfing, and you're like, okay, so you don't have to, doesn't mean you have to golf every day all day, but it means actually take some time that week to either read about golfing, look something up about golfing, maybe go onto the golf course, maybe just go onto the shooting range or whatever it is, I don't, driving range, and just whack a few balls. Just when you're feeling inspired to do something like that and you allow yourself, it's like listening to soul and agreeing to kind of go on that path, and it can be so beautiful. Um it's literally healing. And some of the questions that might come up this week are, why, and this is why I brought up those books, why did my soul come to experience this? And maybe this is even a question that you can ask in the meditation when we are going to go in and choose to let some things go. There may be a reason that we chose, that our soul chose to actually learn these particular lessons. We've been asking what these lessons are that we need to learn, so we can just, sort of move on already, so that we're done with the lessons. And we've been asking what they are, and we're being shown, like it's being handed to us. I keep saying this week, on a silver platter. Like, this is exactly what has been the reason that you needed to have this painful experience. This is exactly the lesson that was to be learned. This is exactly the healing that your soul needed to actually be this leaders are really taking over this week, where if you were a bit of a mentor type person, coach, leader, you'll feel it very strong, especially with this Aries energy coming in this week. You'll feel it very, very strongly. So it's going to be a week of some really cool kind of breakthroughs, some really amazing insights, and some amazing tuning in to how powerful we really are, and knowing that we actually have way more power than we think we do, way more power than we think we do, especially over our emotions and the amounts of love that we're allowing to flow through our body. And that is going to allow that abundance, that of love, of friendships, of prosperity, of journeys. Even though some things may be going on, we're going to be in the space where it's like, thank goodness that happened, because now I can actually do what I meant to do. I never would have let that go, or I never would have brought that up myself, but here it is. And now my ears are ringing. Here it is. And here's exactly what we need to do. We need to look at the amount of love that we're allowing flow through us, and really choose to turn that tap on this week, to choose to tap into that feminine energy, to maybe give up some of those safety measures that we have put into place, and allow ourselves to have a little bit of fun. This is what dragon energy is about. This is bringing in that fun, that childhood, that imagination, um, that ability to dream, ability to light the fire within, the ability to believe in yourself. It's all really going to start coming through. So these next few days are going to be a little bit sort of quiet, just in the stillness, so that we can sort of see a lot of these things that are happening over this shift into Aries, as we are going into the next few days. And it's going to be really neat, almost plunking day by day. You're going to feel which planet is coming into that exact conjunction, so that you can learn the communication part. Like it's going to be like, oh, Mercury's in today. That's about the 17th, I think, 16th, 17th. So today, tomorrow, Mercury's coming in. So it's amazing, actually, some of the conversations I've had with people today about the things that happened today. It was like, I know it seems really bad right now, but this is probably the best thing that could have happened. And by the end of our conversation, they're like, you know what, I think you're right. Like, I never would have actually quit, or I never would have actually change this. I never would have had that conversation, had they not said this or done this. But now, hmm, I think maybe there is a window that's opening for me. I think I'm ready to be ready. And this is it. The universe, got into alignment with that, and the universe sort of made that happen. It's just whether you're going to allow it or not. So when we think about Chiron, where it was in the North Node, it's like the key. If you look at the hieroglyph of Chiron in like the human design or in your astrological chart, it looks like a key. And I liken it to the key that's opening the doorways, that's allowing us to, we've always had it, but where it's sitting in the North Node, it's purely on where we're going. And now that we went through some of this masculine healing last week, some of these ways that we saw that maybe if we do have our armor up a little bit too much, that we maybe, overdid things, maybe overgave things, maybe tried to fix things a lot, maybe tried to control things a lot. What we've realized is that the less we try and control it, and the more we tune into how we're actually feeling, things just move so quickly and so powerfully. And it's exactly the way it's supposed to. Instead of that contractionary fighting and forcing, it's just literally allowing that ease and flow to happen. Um, so I have so much that I always end up wanting to say, but I really want to give some time to do this meditation tonight, because these dragons, it's like they're circling, and they're ready to bring us gifts. And so I want to really dive in to allowing ourselves to go through this healing, energetic, medicine type of meditation, where we just really allow ourselves to tap into the feminine energy. So I did talk a lot about this on Wednesday, but even gentle breath, somatic movements, allowing yourself to do hip opener exercises, if that's been speaking to you, listening to music while you're stretching, humming, walking in the woods, releasing in any way, dancing, ecstatic movement, just really allowing yourself to kind of tap into some of those more feminine, energetic type of um, behaviors throughout the day. It will just balance things out so much more, that masculine energy. We need it for so many things, but when it's being sort of over overcompensating, it can almost be damaging, because we burn out the feminine energetic body. Can't That's always going to cause a wobble, right? It's all about bringing the balance in to allow us to be able to really create the life that we want. And a lot of times it doesn't have to be anything crazy. We don't have to be a bestseller. We don't have to open a huge business. We don't have to change the world, but we're changing the world by being a um, more of a love vessel, having that tap on, allowing that to spread more love throughout the world on a collective basis. It really is so important. But it's important for us too, so that we can actually really honor what is right for us. And a lot of times I find, especially with spiritual growth, being who we really are, right? Being who it really feels good to be. That is what we want. We don't like feeling like we're spreading shit. It doesn't ever feel good. And the universe and your soul are never going to guide you wrong. So we know if something's really feeling wrong, that there is ultimately a reason for it, that we can look at it and just make sure that we're making the choices that feed our soul, that are feeding our true authentic self, and who we really want to be in this world, to really be. Sometimes we want to be a grumpy old hag, and we just feel like it, but do it for a minute. Just allow it for a minute, instead of a day, instead of an hour, instead of 3 hours, instead of a week, instead of a month. Bring yourself out of it. Allow yourself to actually feel that feeling for a minute. Allow yourself to connect with it, but then make that choice in alignment with who you really are. I want ease and flow. I want to love. I want to feel love. I want to be love. I want to enjoy love. I want to have this, I want to love my life. I want to make the most of each moment. I want to, I really get back in alignment with that. But give yourself that time. Give yourself that opportunity to to explore what you're really feeling. If something's really not meant to be, it's continually going to give you more of a no feeling than a yes feeling. This is learning to trust that, and learning to see where you may be sabotaging it, or where you may be trying to control it and having it not go the way you want to. Am I in ease and flow? Am I coming from a place of love, or am I coming from a place of protection and wanting to be safe, or old stories even, right? So we're going to tap into these. Get comfortable and get connected to your breath with that feminine breath. What I was talking about Wednesday is taking nice slow breaths, not doing the Wim Hof fire breaths or the lion breaths. Those are for July when we're in the lion's gate. Those are for our masculine energy moving forward times. The breath is going to be nice and slow as you breathe it in. And then we're going to hold it for just a few seconds at the top of the breath, so that we can actually get into that space between the breath. That's some of the most powerful feminine energy that you can tap into, is that space between the breaths. So as you are sitting or lying, I want you to just connect with your breath and just allow the breath to come in through your nose and expand into your belly and expand into your chest and your side lungs, and you fill up your whole torso with beautiful oxygen, and then hold it for a few seconds before you let it out. And When you're letting it out, try and imagine your body relaxing and releasing and letting go as much as possible. And hold that breath out for a little bit longer than you were breathing in. So if you're breathing in for 3 or 4 seconds, as you breathe out, try and make it last 5 or 6 or even 7 seconds, just breathing out as long as you can, and then letting it stay just in a still space for a few seconds before that breath in comes in and takes over. And just again, notice that breath coming in. Feel it filling up your whole body as you expand into the space between the breath for just a few seconds before you start to let it out through the mouth and just release, relax, let go. And holding that breath at the bottom for just a couple of seconds before you breathe in again. Through your nose, expanding that oxygen through the belly. And I want you to just imagine that as you're breathing, you can feel your guides, your guardian angels start to gather around you in a big, beautiful circle. Starting to feel all the archangels, starting to feel all the goddesses, starting to feel any entities or deities that you connect with that are here helping you. Those angels are just floating around, waiting for you to call upon them. So do so now. As you just call your angels in, call your fairies in, call the magical beings that are here for your greatest and highest purpose, to show you your true soul's path, to bring you into your authentic love and your authentic self. And imagine them all gathering around. And now we're going to call upon that dragon energy. Those dragons are starting to fly in and circle around, and I want you to imagine them going clockwise around your head. Imagine these dragons just flying in a circle in a beautiful circular pattern where they're just creating a vortex of energy that's coming down, directing all of your angels and guides energy in towards your crown chakra. And imagine all of these entities being there, providing this beautiful white light. And imagine as you're breathing in, you can feel yourself breathing in this white, maybe even golden crystal light coming in from the hearts of all of these guides, almost as though they were creating a Care Bear stair coming into your energy field, into our unique and individual energy fields, and also as a collective as we're gathered here in this circle tonight, this beautiful circle of women that we have on, that I know, and I know some of you men will be joining us as well in the replays, and just tap into this feminine energy of flow. We can all do this, whether we're men, whether we're women, whatever we identify as. We can tap into this feminine energy where we allow the tap of love flowing through us to start to open and just expand into our whole auric field, into our whole energetic field. And imagine this light starting to take over to the point where you can't even see your own physical body anymore, that it's now a light body. It's a light body that's tapping into all of the light codes, all of the light languages, all of the energetic fields of all of the planetary and intergalactic helpers that we have out there, all of the angels, all of the dragons. This energy is just pouring in through your crown chakra. Imagine it basking and bathing your whole body, right from the top of the head, almost making your hair feel soft, like you can feel someone with their fingertips starting right at the very top of your scalp and just touching you ever so gently, just like they're tickling the top of your head with fingertips that are still and beautiful and covered in light, just painting your hair and your face, allowing your forehead and your eyes and your eye sockets to relax. Imagine what it feels to feel like your forehead and your nose are actually relaxing as this light spreads down into your third eye and into your face and your ears, basking and bathing you in light, transmuting and cleansing and clearing anything in these chakras that are ready to be shifted and moved. Allowing the throat chakra to be encompassed by this gorgeous light, just expanding, feeling your energetic field get even bigger and whiter. and more golden with light, noticing maybe some sacred geometry that's starting to show up, some shapes or some squiggles or some crystallizations, some beautiful crystals starting to flow into your body, starting to flow all the way through your body, through your shoulders, your arms, your elbows, your wrists, your fingertips, imagining this light starting to actually fill every cell of your physical body, lighting it up into this light body, this light energetic field. And imagine it moving now down through your chest and your heart and your torso, starting to heal and cleanse and clear, transmute, balance. Literally shifting out anything that's not serving anymore. And imagine this moving down in through your solar plexus into your deepest wishes and desires, the things that have been coming up for you lately. Allowing that to coat your whole solar plexus, your whole torso. Imagine your physical body starting to turn into liquid light as it moves down through your sacral plexus and into your root. All of these old stories, all of these old fears, all of this old armor, these traumas, things that we've packed way down and things that were there even before we were born, into when you were in utero, when you were in the womb, all the way down through that root and into your hips and your legs as you start to feel light, as this light starts to flush through, literally doing almost like a psychic surgery, like a spiritual surgery on any part of your body that needs it. If your hips, if your knees, if your feet have been aching, if there's been a headache or a stiff neck, allow this light to do this spiritual surgery, this healing on you right now. And you can feel your body just say yes as you allow the dragon energy to come in and start doing these healings in the magical way that it does. And the angels, the fairy guides, the elements, allowing them all to help you heal in all these beautiful ways. And just feeling into that gorgeous energy. I want you to now think about something that you're ready to give to these dragons, to transmute into magic, into alchemizing it and reconceptualizing it. I want you to think of something in the past that you've regretted, something that's kept you up a little bit at night, a relationship with someone, a regret that you had, a way that you acted in the past, where it's been just holding some real estate, holding some negative energy, even a relationship that ended badly, that maybe is just ready to be let go of, knowing that you had all of the intentions of creating a life that you always loved, that this was a way of seeing, feeling, learning part of this, knowing that you can make different choices going forward. And maybe it was even bad. Maybe it was something that you really have been having a hard time forgiving yourself. I want you to imagine that this regret, that this thing that you felt bad about, that this thing that you've been maybe criticizing yourself about once in a while, like, we call ourselves a bad mother, a bad father. Maybe it was that you felt like you were a bad son or a bad daughter, or maybe you were you felt like you weren't being a good enough sister or brother. Something that you've been holding on to. I want you to imagine right now that this is coming out of your womb like a crystal ball. Like, I want you to bring your hands, even if it's just mentally thinking about it, I want you to bring your hands down to your womb. This is time for some womb healing with this feminine energy coming in. And I want you to imagine that this is actually coming out of your body, and you can take a hold of it and you can hold this in your hands like a big crystal ball. And I want you to hold it out, and I want you to ask one of the dragons to come down and help you heal this right now. I want you to ask the dragon energy to come in with its fire and breathe fire onto this crystal ball. Breathe fire to reconceptualize, to reperceptualize this thought. And I want you to just ask this and imagine this dragon is coming in. The fire is not hot, the fire is light. It's just literally alchemizing this thing that you've regretted, this thing that you're ready to let go of, this thing that you're ready to not carry around deep down in there anymore. This dragon energy is alchemizing this, and it's going to help you see what this was. It's going to help you reconceptualize and reperceptualize this as it blows its beautiful fire onto this crystal ball. And it's the keeper, the dragons are the keepers of treasures, and there's a treasure under here. As you imagine yourself looking at this crystal ball, once this fire has stopped, once the dragon stops breathing and is just there looking at you with this guidance, with this beautiful, powerful energy. What would this dragon tell you? What would this best friend tell you about this thing that you've been hanging on to? Maybe it's not as bad as it seems. Maybe you're realizing that they'll always be who they are, but you're shifting, you're changing. How can you make the choice moving forward to make a change, to make a real change? Maybe letting go of some of the guilt or the shame or the anger or the disappointment or the regret, just choosing to let it go. And I want you to offer this back to your body in this treasured state. Look at this treasure. Imagine you're just seeing something in your hands that's no longer this crystal ball, but this little treasure. Perhaps it's a little bit of self-love. Perhaps it's a little bit of a picture of something. Maybe it's a crystal. Maybe it's a gift that you can give yourself. Maybe it's water. Maybe it's an element. Notice what the dragon has left for you in its beautiful alchemical wake. Just like those fault lines, just like after an earthquake, just like after a beautiful storm, we have that calm. The trees can now grow because of the rain. This is a chance to take this seed. Imagine it's even a seed. Even if you can't see the picture clearly, just take this gift from the dragon, and I want you to place it back into your womb and see how it feels with the state and flow of love being poured into it. How you can actually put that back into your body and watch that light magic start to go in and go into areas that you never even knew it was connected to. It's like as you put it back into your womb, it can go through the rest of your body, creating light, creating love, creating space, creating energy, creating more of that flow, that tap turning back on. Allow that tap to turn on as you place this beautiful treasure, these jewels, back into your body. And I want you to notice now that there's another dragon that's coming down and standing before you. Notice the color of it. Notice the demeanor of it. What does it look like? This dragon that's been waiting to help you with this alchemical state of shifting some of these powerful teachings that you've been having coming up lately. And I want you to go into the last moment, a more recent moment where you were clearly not in the state of love, where you were clearly not in flow, where you were clearly contracted. And I want you to just bring that forward now. And imagine this being like something that's being born straight from your womb. Go down to your belly button and allow this crystal ball that shows you what this is to pop out of your body, to come away from your body, to choose to release this, to choose to work with this, to choose to bring this into an alchemical state. Just a lesson. It can be anything. It can be when you were just holding that flow off, where you had that tap turned off, where you did not have that feminine energy flowing, and allow yourself to do a little bit of alchemical work with this situation. And just bring forth this beautiful crystal ball and offer it to the dragon to literally alchemize this for you with its fire. And imagine its fire blowing on this crystal ball. And as we melt the glass, we have this treasure that's left over. And when you're ready, just let this treasure be seen, be felt, be heard. It may just be a symbol. It may be a song. It may be a word. It may be a feeling. It may be dragons have such treasures for us. What treasure has been left? Perhaps it was where you are today. You wouldn't even be at this meditation today if you hadn't sort of flown off and decided that this was the moment that you were going to get back in alignment. Allowing this alchemization to show you the alignment that's been happening, that's been ready for you all this time. How every moment has brought you to the next, how every little lesson has brought you to the next one. How everything we do is simply bringing us to that next step. It's not going off track. It's not falling off the wagon. It's literally getting us to the next step that we know that we're ready for. And now we're just stepping into alignment with it. Allow that treasure to come back into your body by bringing your hands, even if it's just in your mind, back to your womb and choosing to instill this treasure back into your womb. Allowing this womb healing as this treasure comes in to start to connect to all the little places in your body, all the body systems, all of the identities, as it's just literally rewiring these light codes, these gifts from Mother Earth, from all of the angels, from all of the fairies, the pixies, the planetary friends that we have, the planetary soul family that we have. Allowing this all to just come and work through these magical ways in our body. And now there's one more dragon that's got this beautiful color to it. Notice the shimmer in its scales. Notice what its skin looks like. If you could reach out and touch this dragon, if you could pet it and nuzzle it, what color is it showing you? Is it all smooth? Does it feel rough? Does it have feathers? What does it look like? Look at its wings. Look at its face. Allow yourself to really see the textures and the colors. Maybe it even has a certain smell or a feel. Can you hear it breathing? Can you hear it getting ready to alchemize anything else that's ready in your system to be released? And I want you to just pull up the next thing that you feel is really ready to be let go of as you get ready for a full moon coming in this next week. So you get ready to let this feminine Venusian energy start to really guide you, start to really propel you forward in this leap month, in this leap year, in this super huge transformational breakthrough state that you're ready to be in, getting in alignment. What is something else that you're ready to just shift? Is it self-talk? Is it self-deprecation? Is it maybe even just choosing to turn that tap on and be in a little bit more love, even when you're thinking about yourself every moment of the day, getting up in the morning, feeding yourself, looking at what you're consuming as far as technology, just having this love. Am I constantly in this state of where's my tap on? How much is it on? Is it on 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%? And ask this next dragon, as you take your hands close to your belly and you birth out of your belly button, out of your sacral plexus, out of this lower abdominal area, this womb healing area, this next crystal ball with these ideas in it, with these beautiful beliefs that are ready to be alchemized, that are ready to be shifted, things you're ready to let go of. And imagine this being alchemized by this dragon's beautiful fire, and feel how that fire feels. It may feel like liquid. It may feel so good that it's just transforming this into a treasure, into these aha moments, into these understandings, into this beauty that we're ready to bring back. And I want you to just imagine this fire breathing this love and almost like a fire hose, like the tap is a fire hose. It's just this huge fire hose of light, of love that you just can't help but spread. And allow this fire hose to be turned on in such a healing way. It's fire. This dragon's fire is never ending. It's a consistent form of energy, of light that can come back in. And whenever we need help turning that tap on, this dragon is going to be the one that can light our fire. We can tap into asking it to alchemize this energy, to allow you to turn your tap up, to allow you to increase that energy flowing, that love flowing. How much love do you have turned on? Are you allowing it, feeling it? And just let that dragon do its work and feel that beautiful treasure that's starting to show up underneath the fire. I feel like the fire isn't stopping with this. It's just like this pure flow that's just ready to alchemize anything that comes into your field, to allow you to shift into ease and flow and love on a really quick and really profound basis. Take this treasure that you can now see and bring it back into your body to just expand your light consciousness, bringing in all the light codes with it, all of the universal light language, all of the teachings that your body's ready to absorb, create, expand, and exude. Just feel that light starting to turn up in your body, starting to turn up in your light field. Really dialing into that feeling of ease and flow being what you are creating. And allow these dragons to take the other two dragons to take a space behind you at either shoulder. Like you have these beautiful dragons protecting you all the time. You don't need to set up these protective barriers anymore. You have this beautiful alchemic energy, this beautiful dragon energy that you're going to carry with you, one inside your belly, inside your womb, inside your heart, and two behind you standing strong. Notice the colors of them. Notice them be right beside you, just like the universe is having your back. And with this beautiful shield around us, with this beautiful protective light that's still flowing in from our guides, from our ancestors, I want you to take a nice receiving breath, a beautiful receiving breath, bringing you back, connecting with your body, connecting with your physical self again, taking these energetic healings with you, and embracing this gorgeous, tranquil dragon energy that's going to be with us for the rest of this year. Tapping into that power, our magic, feeling the healings, feeling lighter. And take one more nice receiving breath as you just breathe in. And as you breathe out, feel your whole body just let go of any other dense energies that it's ready to throw into this fire of the dragon. Any pain, anything that needs to just move from the body, give it to the dragons to alchemize. They're right here for you. And when you're ready, come on back. I love you guys. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Listen to it again. Absolutely. I know dragon energy can kind of knock us out too. So it can be intense. You can usually really feel it. I had stuff moving in my guts like crazy. Hopefully you weren't hearing that on the microphone because I have my speaker out too. I'm sending you guys the hugest of love. Tap into that feminine energy this week. It's going to move things 10 years quicker um, than normal. And when we can really embrace that and we can really feel when we're wobbly and create that balance for ourselves, you can't be manifesting things you don't want anymore. It really allows us to create this life that we love. So sending you guys huge love. have a nice long weekend. I know Monday is a holiday even in the States for people. President's Day, we have Family Day in Canada, so enjoy the holiday. And I look forward to seeing everyone Wednesday morning for a group session. I love you all. Mwah. We'll see you very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.